Hello and welcome. Hope everyone's doing okay. I'm doing good. It's a bit chilly. It snowed yesterday, but by 4 o'clock it had all melted away. We do get snow, but it tends not to settle because quite close to the coast. Just on another note, I don't know if I should be worried, but every time I come out, that tree is full of crows. They laugh at me. Yeah, there they go again. I think it's because I'm probably going bald or something like that. So yes, mock me all you want, you little buggers. Anyway, so I thought we'd just do a quick whiz round of the garden. But what I'll do first of all is just start off here and just let you know that I've come up with a little bit of a plan for this area, having mould on it for a bit. So this is obviously going to be a seating area. You can see I've got there's 4 of these big coping stones. There's one at the back there, 2 on each end there, and 1 down here. They were on this wall as a kind of coping, but then the gate didn't open, which isn't the end of the world. I can mix that up. But I thought what I'd probably do is, like these 2 are here, yeah, like these 2 are here, sort of end to end, and the seat is on them. Actually, I could probably make it a bit easier to visualise. These 2 here with the other 2, if I do the same on that side, because they stick out further than the chairs, it kind of hems in the seating area, which is quite nice. And then I won't use this coping stone here as a step. I'll hunt through all my rocks over there and find a step, and then just tidy up all this little section round here with little rocks, if that makes sense. And then at that end, if you imagine that these big coping stones are going to finish where that sort of one is going away from us, the last one just before the little fork, and then I can just put a couple of stones in going down to that fence post, and then that black edging I will put across as it is now, but obviously going through, in inverted commas, the fence post. So that will tidy that up quite nice, I think. So that's my plan for that bit, so that's good. But anyway, let's crack on with the garden. What that'll actually do here is these stones, I'll probably kick them across to the left a little bit, i.e. make the actual flower bed in here a little bit thinner, which isn't the end of the world. I'm going to move these 2 ferns anyway. I might keep the atrata in there, but I'll make that bed a little bit thinner and then put a climber in there, probably the Tracheosperm and Jasminoids, I think that's the one, and then that can go up this here. Like I said, this gets the sun in the evening, this seating area, so the evening scent, because I think they open up in the evening, the flowers will come across when we're sat there, and it will be very pleasant, I'm sure. So that's the plan for that. 2 Jurassic golds, like I've said before. These tiki heads are in there. The back has been smashed out of them, so it's open to the soil, so hopefully they can get roots and nourishment that way, so I don't have to constantly repot them and stuff like that. So I still need to tidy up all the fronds and all that, but what I'm going to do is just wait, because they add a little bit of protection, so I don't want to cut everything off and it suddenly drop down to minus again, and it kill any ferns. I think most of the ones that are left are probably pretty hardy anyway, so I'll just leave it on until the time's a little bit better for that. So yeah, plan for that. I've got a place for that. The one at the back is a Blechnum spicant. Quite a nice fern, especially near rocks and that, so I'll find a nice rocky place for it, maybe over there where that Hart's Tongue fern is. And like I said, the atrata, I'll probably move it down here to the right of the builder rope or string, whatever you want to call it, sort of in and around that area, so it kind of comes over everything. But we see how we'll do on that one. So that's this area sorted. Like I said, with the fence post there, I've got loads of these little I've got 16 of these pockets, or 12. I'm going to make a little vertical garden on that and just see if I can get a good effect of kind of epiphytic ferns on a tree trunk. So anyway, let's make our way around and see what we got going. We've got the fat cedera here. You can see it's still alive, looks quite nice, this thing. I might get one from the patio as one of those climbers, but we'll soon find out. But yeah, the ends of them, I mean, it looks like that one's trying to grow, but they've gone black. But it looks like the plant has actually sort of got some defences for it, because that bit's gone yellow, which I assume is the plant shutting off anything coming back down the stem. But I guess we'll find out. I'm not sure how that's going to grow out now. I guess it will just go back down to the previous node and send another little spurt out there or something. But I guess we'll find that out when the time comes. Moving on, the two deciduous ferns, that's a lady fern there, and this is a royal fern. They're deciduous anyway, so they die off, so they're not permanent, if you sort of see what I mean. So they're just space fillers at the moment. Splenium's looking a bit rough, but they're pretty tough, so I'll chop all the burnt fronds off of that, and that'll look good for now. Again, another space saver. This one here is a drop to its Wallichiana, which is a bit of a lime green atrata. And what I like about these is this is quite a nice one. I know the fronds snapped, but they're lime green and they got like a black stalk, if you like, or stipe and rachis if you want to be technical. But you can see there's a nice crown of croziers in there that wants to come out, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that one this year, I must say. The small Dicksonia antarctica, which was just one of them plant ones you can get quite easily, I think it's dead. However, there is actually a green frond at the bottom there. There's another one coming out just slightly at the bottom, so I was going to put the other Setiferum that I'd recently bought in there. I mean, it will go there, but I think I'll leave this in here for now, chop the fronds off, see what happens in spring. Hopefully it'll survive and I'll move it. Or if it dies, it dies, but I may as well give it a shot, you never know, because it did look quite good, this one. It was pretty relentless growing last year. The bigger Dicksonia seems to be doing right. The sort of bottom of the fronds is all green, which has given me hope, and you can see all I've been doing with this is just grabbing a handful of leaves. There's no straw in it anymore. I've just been grabbing a handful of leaves from the corner, chucking them in there and just hoping that they rot down, I guess. So he looks okay. It's a bit annoying he got all burnt off, but you know, it is what it is. Can't really do a lot. There are actually two silver ferns here as well. There's one to the left of here and one to the right of it, or I should say there were two silver ferns in there, because I think when I put all of the landscape bark up against it in like a big mountain to protect it when it was really cold, I put it over those two ferns as well, so they may or may not come back. But this is another one where I need to actually just get my hands in the dirt a little bit, I think, and just uncover it all and see what's going to grow. The normal Fatsia doing really well, actually. Looks really vibrant and like lush, you know what I mean? A few old leaves as you would expect, but he's coming along quite nicely, that one. Looks like he's got a bit of growth ready to go there. So yeah, tough old plant, that one. Got the fern in the middle is a Polypodium vulgar, which is tough as nails. This is deep shade. I've got another one in full sun, and they're both doing really well. Been attacked by something. I think that might actually be the cat scratching it, but yeah, they're tough as boots, them things. This is the original dark Droptrix atrata. It looks very green now, but in the summer it goes a bit more of a grey green. This one's been in. This was probably one of the first ferns I actually put in about this time last year, and yeah, I see no reason to move it. It's doing the exact effect I want, which is like overhanging into the play area, and it looks quite good. Sorry, a bit of a frog in my throat. This is another Setiferum Herrenhausen, like that one over there that's spilling over the side. I did move this one, so it's not gone quite as crazy, but I fancy when I chop all the old fronds off, that'll go. This fig tree here is ready to go, but I'm going to take him out of here just because I'm a bit worried about the roots going a bit mental around here, and plus I'm probably going to put overall I will have 4 Cyathias, which is going to be a big Australis and a big Couperii, and a small Australis and a small Couperii, and I'm going to mix it up. So over here I'm going to have a big Australis and the small Couperii, and then over in the flower bed I built in the last couple of videos, the one over in the other corner, I'm going to have the big Couperii that I've already got and the small Australis I've already got. So I just need to decide on locations. Between these two ferns is one of the locations I'm thinking of, because as they grow and they're quite bushy ferns, I think this would give it a bit of frost protection if it needs it in winter. along with my soon-to-be, well, I won't patent it, but you know what I mean, soon-to-be patented heating system for the garden, which would be quite interesting to see how that works next year, but we'll get into that when I do it. So I'll take that out, so I've got a little space there for something if I need it. The other Cyathea will probably go there where that deciduous royal fern is, something like that, because then I've got the Herrenhausen next to it one side, and I'll probably put that spicant we saw first it to the right of it, in between that and the Scheffler, and then that will bush out and kind of do the same effect. Over here we've got the small Wallichiana, which I last bought. It was one of the last ones I bought last year, so we didn't have a chance to grow, but I put them in there just to space save. This one here, which is the Polystichum polyblepharum, you can see is starting to go some. If I show you how those fronds unfurl, see that it kind of unfurls like a whip. I do need to chop this one quite soon actually, because these look really good this time. When they unfurl, they go real nice, like they got real nice tinge and sheen to them, and they're a little bit sort of, I think they're actually called a tassel fern, so that should give you some idea of how they look. We got at the back there is a climber, the Pilostagia verbenoid, which is a climbing hydrangea. I've got another one over there, so we're going to have a look at that one a bit better. These aspleniums are getting munched, but they're tough as old boots as well. This Fatsia is a bit bigger, seems to be doing okay. This one actually flowered, so be interesting to see where that's going to grow from. It looks like it's going to grow from right there, but I guess we'll find out when we find out. This Herrenhausen just slowed down a little bit in the last week with the cold weather, but you can see it's still sort of coming out at all angles and is really like big width wise. It's not very high, it's probably about 20 centimeters high, but it's probably a good 80-90 centimeters from end to end, so that's quite a good sort of sprawler, as I'm going to call it. So it's sprawl over into here, which would be quite good. Royal fern there, like I said, that won't do anything now for a while. Scheffler Taiwaniana, this hasn't been protected at all since the first, like I protected it for the -8 we had for a couple of weeks, or the -5 for a couple of weeks, and then the -8, and then after Christmas I uncovered it. It seems to be doing alright. The leaves are all nice and glossy, stems nice and woody, looks like there's a growing point in there, so I look forward to that one. Here's the other Pilostagia verbenoids, climbing hydrangea. I do like the gist of these leaves. They've got like just a nice, like this one here particularly, where it's like light green and dark green. I think it's quite nice. It's like a nice effect it's got on it, I must say. Looks like some growing points have been burnt off by the frost, but I think I'm right in thinking that if I was to say snip here, then it will grow out like that. Is that right? I need to cut these old flowers off. Well, I guess I just do it and see what finds out. This is a fern, a deciduous fern, I forget it, it's something like a Hispices or something like that. It's actually related to bracken, which is a touch worrying, but apparently it's okay, it won't go mental like a bracken would, so we'll see what that does. It's probably dead, but we'll see what happens. Woodwardia radicans, you can see there's a big clump of croziers that looks like they want to come out in the middle there, so I'm quite happy with that. I can cut those fronds off after, hope we have a nice flush of green. The one at the back, that's a deciduous one as well. You might not be able to see it very well. That's a Matichua struthiopteris, which is the ostrich feather fern. Another Scheffler here. This is the Scheffler rodendifloria. Again, seems okay to me. I can't really see any growth points in it, I think. Not yet, so we'll see what happens with that one. Another asplenium, a couple of aspleniums there, which I'll probably change again for something. These are just space fillers, but they seem to go anywhere. They don't like full sun, but they seem to do alright. The Lophosauria here, which you can see the sort of grey undersides to, is obviously browned off all these, but you can see there's some green coming up, so, and all the bottom of the stalks is green, the fronds is green, so I'm hoping, I don't want to curse it, but I'm hoping that one's alive because that was an expensive fern. and I want to get 2 or 3 more of them at least, so we go from there. Good news for me, the T-Rex is alive and it's doing something, and as it snowed yesterday, I'm quite surprised that that leaf is quite as vibrant and green as it is. There's another leaf about to come out. That one I really struggled to get going. It was bigger than that when I bought it in July last year, so that gives you an idea of the struggles I've had. I was having to come out and put like the table over it because it was too hot for it and stuff like that, and then I waterlogged it by watering it too much and blah 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 blah. This is a Nephofia, again just a space filler for now, but I'll probably take that out because he doesn't look like he's going to do anything, but if he does, it's a bonus. This is the other Polystichon setiferum, which was going to go over where the original Dixonia, the small Dixonia is over the other side, but I just put him in there just to fill the spot because I took that crested fern out that was there and put it in a pot out the front. Over here you can see finally last night this banana finally collapsed. I did hint at it in another video that I thought it was proper dead. Not proper dead, but dead all the way down. There's a bit of firmness there, yeah, and then once you get up to that sort of where my hand is now, that is soft, and then it's a bit that's a bit firmer there, so probably chop that up somewhere near there. Hopefully that'll be alright and spurt from there. A bit disappointing, but you know, I didn't protect them at all, so not to be surprised really. This is the sword fern, or the Polystichon muntium or munitum, or whatever they call it. That was over in Camellia Corner. I've moved him there now, so he's doing okay. Another Dropteryx Wallachiana here, which I'm just leaving the old dead fronds on just to keep it alright. The Dropteryx Erythrosaur is doing okay, a few dark fronds on it like this one here, but otherwise he's doing fine. Look at that leaf there, that's alright, so I just need to thin him out a bit when the time comes. This one's quite nice. This Atrata's actually got a double crown on it. I don't know if you can see that, but there's one down the bottom left and one just under that like fig conifer leaf that's there. So again, just needs a bit of a trim. Coming over to here, another Atrata, you know, doing quite well. The Cannas are still under their mountain of that stuff, the landscaping bark and whatnot. There's the other Polypodium at the back there, he's doing right. These two bananas, I mean, the girth on that is quality. These two, that's a pup there as well, so he's standing tall at the moment. How much more punishment he can take, I don't know. I don't actually want to squeeze that one because I'll probably end up collapsing it if I do. This is the Blechnum chilense. I had to move it because it was right in the way where I put that fence post a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully it'll be alright. This spreads by a creeping rhizome, so that's the original plant there, and within a year now, the whole root ball is actually quite big but shallow, and you can see it shoving up fronds right over here. So yeah, that looks like it's going to slowly colonise that area, so I may leave him in there. We'll see what happens. Right, if we come down here, coming into the last bit now, so this Saxifraga stolonifera has decided to erupt. It was going outwards and now it's erupting upwards, so there's a kind of, I'm getting a real like alien vibe from that. I don't know why, but just the way it grows, they're all sort of mangled and they must open up. You see like these here, these are obviously the new leaves. It's just decided to go some now, so this thing seems to be actually really tough. So I'm thinking of these little plantlets that have come off it. I'm thinking of chopping them up and putting like 1 or 2 in each bed and just like letting it do what it's going to do. Camellia's looking nice. This was out in the snow yesterday. All looks very nice, so quite happy with them. That Camellia's come out, slightly different flowers. That one looks a bit better for bees than this one, so hopefully there's any around. This is like the Boston fern, the Nephrolepis cordifolia. Loads of new fronds coming out on that, so hopefully they didn't get burnt yesterday, but I'm really looking forward to that one. I may even get a couple more. There is actually a maidenhair fern under there, which you may or may not be able to see. He's had a tough life. I tried to rescue him, I tried loads of things, and this is last chance saloon from now. If you can't do anything in there, then I'll give up on him. Got the old cat defenders down, but otherwise that's another Erythrosaur which has got a red tinge. This is Dropteryx Lepidopa, which is kind of like the Wallachiana and the Jurassic Golds, except the leaves are red. That one is the Dropterosphenus, which had a really hard life because it was covered by a dahlia last year, all year, and then the banana leaves collapsed on it over winter. So I'm giving them its time in the spotlight. And this is where the big Cyathea is going to go in this bed and hopefully come right out across, and then the smaller one I'll put in there for now. So yeah, bamboo I will trim down at some point as well. So there you go, quick tour. Hope you're doing alright. See you later.